I've been to the border before. I will go again. But when I'm in Guatemala dealing with root causes, I think we should have a conversation about what's going on in Guatemala.
While I'm in Guatemala dealing with root causes, let me ask you a question. If someone broke into your home, um, just came through the door in the middle of the night while you were sleeping, what would you say was the root cause of that? Would it be because crime rates are up? Would it be because um, that person was just a bad person and it's all on them when they broke into your home? What would be the reason? What would you say the root cause is? What would you attempt to address to make sure that it never happens again? To make sure no one just walks into your house in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. Me personally, I would lock the door. I would, I would secure my home, especially if there are other individuals in the house that I'm responsible for. You know, my wife, my children. I'm responsible for their safety. I would make sure that the home is secure. I would lock the door first and foremost. I mean, yeah, there are other things that can go wrong. There are other issues, there are other causes. But when I look at root causes, I look at what I can control. So I wouldn't spend the next couple of years going about the community attempting to lower the crime rate. I would focus on the things that were within my control, and I would lock the door. I would secure my home. Anyway, welcome back to Pointing Out Politicians. Thanks for taking the time to stop in and hang out with me for a moment or two. I'm going to play that whole clip when Kamala was asked about the border, going to the border and taking care of that mandate that was given to her by the president and doing her job. Here we go.
Clear something up that's been, in the news for the last 24 hours or so. Okay. Can you commit right now that you will indeed visit the U.S.-Mexico border, and will you do it soon?
Jeremy, let me tell you something. Yes, I will, and I have before. Listen, anybody, especially if you're from California, you know, I've spent a lot of time on the border, and both going there physically and aware of the issues. But the reality of it is that we need to prioritize what's happening at the border, and we have to prioritize why people are going to the border. I've been to the border before. I will go again. But when I'm in Guatemala dealing with root causes, I think we should have a conversation about what's going on in Guatemala.
Okay, so we see in the video, Vice President Harris talks about the fact that she's been to the border. Being from California, she's been down there before. So my question is, when? Was it while you were in California, before you went into the White House, before you became the vice president? When did you go to the border? Things change, right? So if you could have gone to the border 100 times in the past, but have you gone to the border while the situation is what it is right now? When is the last time you've been down there? And more importantly, when you were giving the responsibility, tasked by your senior, your superior, to get the job done, have you gone to see for yourself since that time? And the answer is no. She has not been to the border. And in mentioning that she's been to the border before, what did she learn when she went to the border? Even though it was a different time, what are some of the things that she noted? What are some of the problems that she thinks needs to be addressed at the border since she's been there before? What have you gleaned from all your trips to the border in the past? And now that she says she's going to go to the border again, when? When do you plan to go to the border? You see, as an executive, you have a schedule. And when things are important, you put them on your schedule and you allot time for that so that you can plan for it and you can go make it happen. So is there a plan? When is that? When is that supposed to happen? One thing I want to add is that the vice president, the president, this is the executive branch of government. So we have three different branches. And the executive branch, I think of it kind of like the executive suite of a corporation, of any corporation. These are the people directly responsible for operations. And when a CEO, which is comparable to the position of president, gives one of his vice presidents a mandate to fix a problem within the corporation, that's what they do. They follow the lead of this chief executive officer and they execute upon the command that they were given. This is what's really interesting. You see, in the real world, if that vice president doesn't do what's asked by the CEO, they'll be looking for a new job, right? I'd also add to that there are levels to this thing, just like any large corporation in the civilian world. There are levels to it. So yes, there's officers at multiple levels. You have your executives, then you have your what we call upper management, then you have your middle management, you have your lower management, all the way down to the supervisors, right? And the supervisors and middle managers are typically involved on a day-to-day basis with whatever operation that they are in. It could be a customer service operation, it could be a manufacturing operation, or processing operation, delivery operations. These are the supervisors and the managers are highly engaged in these operations on a day-to-day basis. And you don't really see the upper management much. You don't see the executives much. You hear from them. Might be a video that comes out. You have to watch the video, make sure all the employees watch the video and all that good stuff. Except in the case where there's really a problem. When there's a problem in an operation, in a location that is severely impacting the operation as a whole, the organization as a whole, executives with their wealth of experience having come through, ideally come up in these operations, they understand how they work. That's the ideal situation. You have an executive who understands how these operations work. They pay a visit and everybody tightens up. Everybody tightens up. You want to put your best foot forward. It's kind of like in the military when sergeant majors come in to do an inspection. Everybody tightens up, right? But it's inherent to their job. It's on them, their responsibility to tighten up that operation that's lacking within their area of control. So, like say you have the southeast region. You want to make sure that if you have an issue anywhere in that region, that you get it fixed before your boss has to come take a look at it, before your boss has to fix it. Because if the boss has to fix it, what do I need you for? And this is the point I'm getting to. If she can't fix it and someone else has to fix it, what does he need her for? Now, this is a unique situation in which it's interesting because I don't think anybody in the C-suite is capable of fixing it. They just don't have what it takes. But neither here nor there. We're talking about a chain of command. You've been mandated. You've been given instructions to get that job done. It would seem to me like you would want to put your feet on the ground. Make that happen. It's a problem. And there are steps to fixing the problem. It's a logical pattern. First step, identify the problem. What is the problem? Second step, come up with some possible solutions to the problem. Third step, let's pick from one of these solutions, one of the best choice, what we see as the best option. Let's pick one. And then fourth, let's implement that. And once we've implemented, we're going to supervise that. Step 5, we're going to follow through and make sure that the solution that we put in place is carried out, that it's effective, and that it continues to be carried out. But let me ask you this. What have you heard being discussed by the Vice President that she can implement, that the White House can implement, that the politicians in the United States of America have complete control of? That's the trick. That's the misdirection. That's how they fool the American people, right? They focus on things that are outside of their control so that you can't hold them directly accountable for whether or not it's one, implemented, and two, that there's follow-up and it gets done. See how that works? You'll constantly hear them talk about things that are outside of their realm of direct control. You'll never hear them talk about the things that they have specific control over, where you can observe them implement that. And you can judge for yourself whether or not they make good decisions and they follow through with those decisions. That's what you're faced with. That's what you have here. That's what you have in the White House. What do you think about that? Let me know. And as always, if you like the content, like, share, and comment. Let me know your thoughts. Take care. Peace.
Jeremy, let me tell you something. Yes, I will, and I have before. Listen, anybody, especially if you're from California, you know, I've spent a lot of time on the border, and both going there physically and aware of the issues. But the reality of it is that we need to prioritize what's happening at the border, and we have to prioritize why people are going to the border.